I don't know if it's the best day to sit outside and enjoy the weather. Yeah, a snow day probably isn't the best day to be sitting outside in a deck chair or Adirondack chair, but it's a great day to come inside to the workshop and actually build one. Hey there, my name is Mr. Rodaway. I'm from the Warrior Woodshop, and we're going to build this hybrid Adirondack deck chair on this episode. All right, we're actually calling this a hybrid Adirondack chair because it has the traditional slatted seats and slatted back and the curved top that an Adirondack chair has. However, a traditional Adirondack chair has more of a 35-degree seat. And when you have experience, we'll call it experience like I do, and you've been sitting on that very comfortable, they don't look comfortable in a traditional Adirondack chair. They're comfortable, but trying to get out of them, sometimes you might need some assistance. So this one came from a book called The Handbuilt Home by Anna White. I apologize for butchering that if I did. But it's a all 1x4 construction. We have actually used the equivalent to deck lumber, which is 1.125", planer down to 1 inch, just to give it a little bit more structural rigidity for those experienced people. We'll leave it at that. It does have a pre-built back. The seat goes on, each arm side is individually, but we're going to go ahead and build a second one to give away at one of our raffles. So make sure you keep abreast of what we're doing here at the Warrior Woodshop. I do like the deck chair height because it works great for sitting at the patio. It can pull up to a table for lunch or a snack, but yet it's still comfortable enough to sit out and watch the kids play on the playground or play at the beach. So we're going to set this one off to the side and get building our identical one. All right, we're going to start with parts number 1, 2, and 3 on our list, which is the front leg, the back leg, and then the armrest support. Now we got our numbers on there. We need to square everything up. We've planer jointed, so we've affected that angle. So let's make sure we square that up. The front legs are cut square. And they need to be identical. So if you're doing a set of these, make sure you got all 4. Stop block over. When it comes to the back legs, there's a 15-degree angle, so we're going to go ahead and set the miter, and instead of squaring up the end, we're going to essentially miter up the end. 15 degrees, and look at the plan. 24 5/8 parallel to parallel. So that allows us to hook on that sharp edge right there. If it helps, use my speed square and give a visual. Again, we're going to set the stop block. Line that up. There's where the speed square line comes into play. Our armrest supports. Square up and in. The plan does not say to put a 15-degree angle, but I think it's going to look better if we do. I just noticed another potential mod. If I calculated this, I could have had this angle cut to where this back support could have extended the full 21 and been screwed into those two. In fact, I think I might still do that Because what I'm concerned about is the only thing that holds this in there is 2 screws going this way. So if I can get a screw going through this way and that way, it gives that much more support. So let me pause the camera and do a slight mod, and then I'll tell you what I did to make it work a little better. All right, here's the modification I made. I put a 15-degree angle, which is actually the same angle as this one here, just going the opposite direction. The top is 22.5 with 3/4 exposed. This is all using 1-inch thick material. So then I took and changed the crossbar that was supposed to go in the middle to full 21, same as the seats. Put a 1/4 inch round over, and what that's going to do is go right there. Everything's even, and with the 3/4 plus the 1/4 inch round over, it all lines up real nice and neat. Identical. One of the things I like about this plan is when you're working solo, it says to use galvanized finish nails. So we got some 18 gauge brad nails that are galvanized. And the other thing we're going to want to work with is we're using Titebond 3, but there's other brands of exterior rated glue. One of the things I like to do is put an 1/8 inch round over, bring over the trim router, and we'll do that first before we start doing any assembly. Square leg up front. 15-degree leg in the back. Start over. Your speed square. Looks like it should work. Advantage to the galvanized nails. We're going to go back and reinforce some screws, but you can see how slippery the glue is. It's on there. All right, we're going to do the other two, and then we'll do our marks for the seat rail. It says that the stringer needs to have a 5-degree cut, so I've already squared up the end or mitered up the end to that 5-degree. It needs to be 11 3/4 up, and then set back. It says 3/4, but we're going 1 inch, so we want to make sure we set that back accordingly to our material. So let me mark that 11 3/4. Okay. And then the back, we cut the length, and it's 9 3/8 up from the bottom. So take my spacer block. Put that there. 5 degrees is pretty dang close. I'm going to spin this so it's a little bit off the table here. That's where it's supposed to be. And put a scribe mark there. I've got white pencil lines, exactly where that needs to go. So I will take this back to the miter saw and stop block it, so that way we're ready to go. So 5-degree on the front, 20 degrees, they should be going from left to right in the same direction. So I'll be right back. Touch up while you can. It's a lot easier to take care of that stuff than fighting inside these corners. All right. Good. That one's lined up. Okay. These are 1 3/4 kind of trim decking screws. So they're a little bit smaller head, not invisible. You feel like counterboring and plugging them, that'd be a cool thing to do like we did in our white oak Sapelli chair. Glue squeeze out. That's sturdy. I like that. Alright, the next part is to put the front stretcher or connecting rail, front stringer, I think what the plan calls it. Little pro tip here when you got to balance something. A pair of quick acting clamps, or you can see over to my right, the parallel clamps, they work great, as you can see, to help you hold something upright. I don't know if the sound is showing up in the background, but the radial arm saw is winding up. So I just got back from cutting the front apron and the 5 seat slats. You want to do these at the same time because this dictates the width of everything else, and that's our next 2 steps. I'm going to pick out the best one for the front apron. Again, we'll do it with a couple of quick nails and then reinforce with the screws. You saw me tweak it a little bit, trying to get everything nice and snug. When I got a chance, I'm going to go ahead and put my Alright, flip the page. Seat slats. Much easier to sand these while they're unattached. Alright, here we are at our, what we call the triple router table. Sometimes we nicknamed it the super router table because it kind of looks like a superhero emblem. It's something I built over the summer because we use 3 common bits in this class all the time. Round over, OG, and a chamfer. That way the kids can put decorative edges on their tables or shelves, etc. If you're interested in how we built that, we got a recap video, not a full build, but we got a recap video on how we did this one. But let me take care of these roundovers and let's get back to that chair build. Yep, we got a clamp just holding it so that way this is consistent all the way through. And we're gonna wanna make sure that the first one is flush, and then I think, yeah, we're good there. If it's rocking, you're probably out of square a little bit, so, all right. Once I'm working by myself again, a little bit of glue on each end. Reminder, Type Bond 3 or other waterproof glue. This will be the toughest one. There we go. I'm going to put 2 finish nails in each end. And we'll do, when we're all done, we'll do 1 countersink screw in the middle. Alright, that's how they want you to do it. So now we can take that back off and focus on our back panel. This one uses a pre-built back. Okay, I just got back from the crosscut saw. I've squared up one end. I've let the other end run wild. We'll cut that when we cut the total arc here at the end. The plan calls for 1/2 inch gaps. So I've got that. We've got to cut our 3 crossbars to 19.5, so let me go do that and we'll be right back. Okay. According to the plans, that's supposed to be 14.25 up. Top one's 27 up. I'm gonna wait and do this middle one until I know that I want it to match up with the rails. So So that way it can be attached a little bit more soundly. And of these two top rails, I'm going to use the nicer one for the one that's going to be exposed at the top. I'm going to put a couple of 27-inch marks. Put them there. All right, again, there's one more, but we're going to get our arch cut at the top and locate it accordingly. So that's what the back of the chair is going to look like. That looks nice. So now we're going to start our arc and get the jigsaw out. Take care of that. That's why we let these run wild, so we can just do it one solid cut with the jigsaw. Let me get a template. These are pretty good to invest in. I don't remember where it says boss stitch, but that's a 12-inch radius. So 33 minus 12 is 21. And 9 3/4, right there is where the center would be. On our last part of the video, hopefully I remember to turn on the camera, I think I did. We assembled the back. When I went to do a dry fit off camera, one of the things I realized is the plans are designed for 3/4. We've said that over and over, and we're using 1x lumber. This one happens to be the cedar, but you can use the pressure treated pine deck lumber. I think that's a little bit sturdier on the seat and things like that. Well, this is 21, the seat in here, and the seat's supposed to, or the back's supposed to go in between these two. So they subtracted 3/4, ended up at 19.5. Well, in our case, we got 21 minus 1 minus 1, so do the simple math, and we need to adjust that to 19. Not a big deal. The other thing you could do is a lot of the models of this that I've seen online, this piece is on the actual outside. This gives you a little more seat width. So this will become 21. So there's a couple of different mods that you can do, whether you're using 3/4 or the true 1-inch lumber. This is a win for what is referred to as palm routers or trim routers. We got a 1/4-inch round over in there. We're going to take a minute here before we install it. And we've got our arch cut. So we're going to round everything over on the front sides, and then we'll get ready to install it. Makes a mess, but it sure smells good with this red cedar. Time for a dry fit. It's gonna be interesting. All right, here's the modification I made. I put a 15-degree angle, which is actually the same angle as this one here, just going the opposite direction. The top is 22.5 with 3/4 exposed. This is all using 1-inch thick material. So then I took and changed the crossbar that was supposed to go in the middle to full 21, same as the seats. Put a 1/4-inch round over. And what that's gonna do is go right there. Everything's even, and with the 3/4 plus the 1/4-inch round over, it all lines up real nice and neat. But that's looking pretty good. So 15-degree angle. We're gonna put some glue, a quick brad nail in to hold it, and then follow up with screws for strength. That will also allow us to take and put a screw in from the outside below that point. So it's got one going in horizontal, one going in sideways. What I was afraid of was the only thing holding this thing up would be end grain glue and 2 screws. And you got a guy like me sitting in there, that's a lot of pressure on 2 screws. So you got some base grain glue here plus screws going opposite direction. I think it's going to increase the strength. I don't want to say a certain number, but definitely multiple fold over. So let me get that done. Do a dry fit, make sure this all works together. Nice fit there. There's where the advantage to the back is I only have to support this at the bottom. We're going to line this up with the outside rail. Yeah, that works real nice. I like that. Probably what you're supposed to do anyways. What I did is lined up the bottom of, so you can see it on camera, the bottom of this one, even with the bottom of the side rail. So that way we can put 2 screws in here, and allows us to put 1 screw in the back of here, and 1 screw in the back of this from the front side, or we could actually do it from the back. That'd be kind of nice. I guess the other, if you don't want to plug screws, but yet keep them hidden, we could have drilled a couple of pocket screws and used them, or pocket holes in them, and used those screws there. But so far, looking good. I think all we got left to do is the armrest. All right, we're going back to the plans. Our armrests say it's 23 1/4. We made a few mods. Part of it is the thickness of the lumber, so that may not be correct. From the back to the front, it is 23 1/4, but that does not allow for any overhang. These are my rough cut pieces. I know I got to clean that in, but I think I want a little bit of, as you get up, you kind of pull there. So we want about 1 inch there, plus 1/2 inch in the back. So let me put about 1/2 inch there. That gives us to 24. So we'll call it 25 is what we're going to make them instead of 23 1/4. I'll make that note change right here. All right, so let me show you from our old traditional Adirondack chairs. This is the armrest that comes with it. Gives you a little bit of more waist room in the middle. They're traditionally 1x6 with this slanted off. That's kind of how they sit. It's the armrest piece would be on the outside there. So there are a couple different styles here. I got a chance to sit in this off camera here to check to make sure the back and everything fit. This is a good hybrid between a table chair like you would sit and have lunch at. It would work great for that, but yet it's still comfortable enough that you could watch the kids play or sit on the beach and just relax. All right, I want to do a dry fit before I head over to the bandsaw. That looks pretty good. What we're gonna do is take our glue bottle and put it on the corner. Roll of tape would work too. We're just going to get these, we're just going to do all 4 corners because part of it's hanging over in the back here. That way there's no sharp edges. Where does everybody move these by? The armrest. So, a little bit of glue isn't gonna hurt anything. It's long grain to long grain. And line up the round over with the inside. There's a small gap there in the chair, so that worked out real perfect. 1 inch overhang. Nail there. One nail there, right? Get the drill ready. All right, there we go. Get this thing on the ground and see how it works. See if it's really a chair. All right. I'd say it works. So after you're done having your tea or your beverage of choice there on the patio or the beach, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, because I think my partner and I are going to redo this chair. Not redo this chair, but build a second one for his house. And we need a couple more in our lake in-laws house. But we're gonna make a few hybrid changes. We're gonna call it a hybrid chair. We like the traditional Adirondacks with a real low seat. But when you got the gray hair, it gets a little harder to get out of, but they're comfortable. And one of the things that changes on traditional Adirondacks is the back. I like the fact that the screws come in from the back side, so it's all plain and clear up front. You could plug those if you really wanted to, but I want to go to a curved back. So what that means is this piece right here is now going to turn horizontal, but it'll allow face grain to face grain glue and bolts there, or screws, and then that'll allow us to curve that piece. Some of the traditional ones even have a curved seat. The seat's not too uncomfortable as long as you get a little bit of a curve to the back. Think about, a lot of chairs are just got a slight arch to the back. And if you're gonna be sitting relaxing on the patio or on the beach, let's make it comfortable, right? The other one we're gonna do is change this to 1x6 or use the full 5/4 board. That'll allow this board to move to the outside. Plus, in our traditional, well, we did these for 2 years in a row as a group project. The first set did not have a cup holder, the second set did. So I think we'll be able to incorporate a cup holder, because when you get to the 6-inch level, you got a lot of torque. So most of them put a little S bracket right there. So we'll just do a double S with the hole and the little lower shelf. But because I noticed when I sat in it, my legs felt right there. We might open to 22 to 24 wide for some of us that need the XL seat, let's put it that way, because I'm definitely one of those. So, but overall, pre-sand everything. I mean, this could have been rounded over. That would have probably made it a little more comfortable, like I did with the armrest. But that little 1-inch overhang definitely was worth it there too. So, hopefully you got something out of this video. Again, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe bell so you see our other videos. We'll show you the hybrid version when we get around to it later this spring or summer. So, thanks for watching. So, after you get done with that beverage, all I have to say is, go out and make some sawdust.